Hello.
Hi,
How are you doing?
I'm doing good.
All right. So, would you like to introduce yourself while I get your game started here?
Hi. I'm just gonna go for tomato for now.
Yeah, absolutely. Whatever alias you are comfortable with.
Yeah. This was the first time I've done a game jam, so time management was a bit of a mess.
Oh, right, right, right. So this was the one where you actually sent me a file, which I should have downloaded. I am sorry about that. Um, I just remembered at the last second that I've got the alternate. Um, just download. There we go.
Yeah, due to a single word in the code, the game jam version is has a game breaking glitch on the third level.
Ah, I'm sorry about that. How does this?
Just click
Google.
download in top right, and
Yeah,
then
yeah,
it'll.
it's not doing it. Um,
Uh,
it's weird. I guess I will try Chrome again. Google's own things might work better in its own browser. Hopefully.
yeah. Hopefully they make their own software compatible with their own software.
It's not a guarantee, but hopefully. It does just say that it's still loading. So it's not
That
like I
might
don't have
be it.
permission to access the file, but it is just like I'm getting a little spinny bar. Um, Here we go. We'll bring that over. Um, So hopefully that is actually going to, in fact, oh, okay, there we go. Okay, I downloaded at the bottom here. Okay. Um, Open when done. I assume it's done. Okay. Yes, we're good.
If the shortcut doesn't work, you can just launch it in the bin. It's just to make it cleaner.
Okay. So let's extract the files. And there we go. Right. I'm sorry that was a bit of a journey. Okay, so that doesn't work, but going to the bin and then going to the
It's
exe. There we
yeah.
go. All right. And I'm just going to tab out because most of the time, thankfully, your audio is pretty well balanced, but just for the sake of the stream, I tend to keep it down around like 20 or 10%. Um, there we go. So, reading ahead, at long last, we're actually playing the game. Um,
Amazing. You got there
yeah,
in the end.
in the end. All right. Options. I
The
mean,
volume slider does not work.
all right. That's fine. I can adjust the volume externally. All right, A and D to run. So while I give the game a try here, let me close all these unnecessary instances of Chrome, just because I like to keep a tidy taskbar. Helps me focus on things like finding my interview questions. So, how did you decide on what you were going to make for the jam?
So I worked with one other person, and we were both just talking to each other as the theme was revealed. And I had just come off the back of doing the final major project at college, so I had three ideas already in mind for that. And it just so happened that one of the ideas perfectly lined up with what the theme was. So we just went with that and applied it.
Well, that's sorry, I got distracted by two things. First of all, hello Beanborg, holy cow, thank you so much for the viewer raid. And second of all, I'm already stuck. My
You
jump
can
seems to
wall
be.
jump,
Oh, you can
but
wall
you
jump.
can't jump on the wall this like multiple times, so you need to switch sides.
Okay, okay, thank you. That'll help. All
And you
right.
can also double jump, so double jump on one wall and then wall jump. It's a bit confusing.
Oh boy. Okay. I'm sure I'll get the hang of it eventually. So you can jump, then double jump. I see. So I'm when I'm jumping twice against a wall, what I'm actually doing is double jumping in midair. Um, Whew, okay.
You,
Um,
you yeah, you'll get there.
I'm sure. I'm sure I will. Okay, let's give me some brain time to focus. Really quickly, I will just mention to any viewers who are joining on, please do submit your games via the Discord, and I will get to them. I'm playing every other game in the queue, and then I'm also doing a random roll between games in the queue. To give everyone, even new viewers, a shot. But I will get around to playing every game as long as you are in the chat, or ideally, we get to do a Discord call together so we can chat about the game as we are doing right now. Um, and I'm going to figure this out, but I will throw the next question your way so that I can focus on platforming. So, what was your development process like for the game?
Okay, so it was pretty much just make the core mechanic, which has not been implemented yet. And just a heads up for the platforming, you can't double jump on a wall after having double jumped the first time. It's like
Okay.
you get a flat double jump and then you just wall jump once. So it was pretty much just develop the core mechanic, which isn't in the game yet. You've not got that point, and
Okay.
then make the player controller and just spiral from there. So yeah,
I just bashed my knee so hard on my desk. Ah. Yep, there's the F's in chat. Ow.
it's pretty unforgiving.
That was emotionally and physically painful in a way that I don't think you expected.
I was watching the stream earlier, and you mentioned I advocate for having a lot of checkpoints, and
I do.
I
I
remembered
really do.
my game has 0 checkpoints and
Oh
everything resets.
no! Oh no! Okay, I'm gonna do my best, but I'm gonna give myself a fighting chance and just opened up my window so I could get a little bit of air in here.
It's probably smart. It's a puzzle platformer, but at heart, it's a rage game.
Oh man. Okay, well I will do my best. No promises. No promises. Oh yeah, we got a question from chat. Excellent. So Cosmic Perk is asking, how long did the project take?
So it took about 50 minutes before the deadline was when we finished. And then it took another 30 to upload. It was very on the dot.
Okay, you can double jump as if I haven't already needed that. Oh boy.
Just in case you didn't know.
Oh my gosh. That jump. Okay. Having spent a lot of time on character controllers and trying to what is this? What are you doing? What are you doing? I'm looking at this level laid out in front of me, and you got all these single. Yep, and I'm back to the start. I'm back to the start. Okay. We're going to get back to the questions, but really quickly, stop me if I'm saying anything you already know. But I would definitely advocate for, the checkpoints are great, but the main reason that I have the checkpoints are because I could be having much more fun experiencing new content in the game as opposed to having to repeat stuff that I've already done before. And oh boy. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. This is very difficult.
Jump the second time a little later. You have some airtime.
Yeah, I figured it would be something like that.
We do know that on our end I gave the game over to the other person who mostly did menu stuff, so they weren't involved in the game design, like the actual gameplay.
Right.
So I gave that over to them, and then they went, "Oh, this is hellish. Can you add some checkpoints?" About 30 minutes before the timer was up, and that just so happened to clash with the game mechanic of switching rooms around, because there's no way of knowing if going back to a checkpoint is gonna mess up the current room you're in.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a bit of a hard balance to get in 30 minutes.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's the thing, is I had a feeling that this was developer difficulty because, again, you build the platforming engine yourself. You know how to make the jumps. This in particular, the place that I have stopped right now, I really don't want this to come across as an insult, but it is very early platformer developer when I see single thin platformers spaced out over spikes.
Oh, definitely.
And people do this without even thinking about it. It just seems natural. Yeah, I'm building a level, I'm going to put a bunch of platforms like this. But it's something that when I realized that I had it in my own game, because there were, for the most part, I avoid it. But there's another Jam game that I made, which I'm only going to bring it up for sake of illustration, not that I wanted to detract from um, the current what we're looking at here. But it is the game Worlds Within Worlds that I made for the recent TO Jam, and that's a local game jam. Okay, I'm gonna play the trailer but keep this muted, and I just want to call up a specific detail. Okay, so this is the game, and there's a specific mechanic. I think it's later in the trailer, but basically there were these platforms that used to be single thin blocks, and I changed them to be doubly wide. Like even these ghosts that the character's bouncing off of right now are like the reason that these ghosts have horns is so that they provide more of a surface for the player to jump off of. And then these blocks here, which turn off after a short amount of time, you can see I also made them like doubly wide. Again, for that purpose of making it so you don't have to just land on tiny little platforms. And then when I made them doubly wide, I realized that it actually opened up the opportunity for me to use them as a platform to ferry an enemy across a gap. And I ended up with some new level design possibilities when I made this change for the sake of making the game easier to play.
Yeah, that makes sense. It does get a little better later on in the game, which you're never going to get to because it would take like literally half an hour.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I don't have
but
that much time to dedicate to this.
but like if I was designing this level at the end of the project, it would be a lot easier because near the end we realized, hang on a minute, this is impossible to play if you don't know what you're doing. But we had like an hour left. We had to just rush design.
You gotta tell me now, can I land on this slime?
No,
Or will it kill me?
you cannot
Okay.
kill the slime.
Okay.
The slime is just a hazard.
I
was going to put
it.
text saying that, but
Thought I cleared it. Oh my goodness. Dark Phoenix looked at a lot of platform design, and yes, single block over a pit is not fun. Oh yes, and specifically the head bonk as well. The fact that you have the low ceiling, that is another unfortunate component to that specific part of the level.
Later on, there's one where you've got to drop down and wall jump under a wall. That I don't think my friend could get past that bit. No matter how many times he tried. And this was originally in this room. You had to like drop down and wall jump under a wall over spikes, and it was not good.
Cosmic Crook is asking, are game jams a 1 month period? Well, yeah, this one in particular was a 48-hour jam, as everyone else is mentioning. I think it works in games like Give Up because the average length is a lot shorter.
Oh yeah.
Well, I don't want to give up on this project, but I am coming close to my limit on. I don't know. If this is amusing for chat, seeing me suffer, then I'll keep going. But oh my goodness. But yeah, every single jam is different. This one was just a very limited time span. So was there anything, any particularly clever hack or shortcut that you used to develop this game jam project that you would never use for a regular production project?
Well, in every single game I make, I try to reuse a ton of scripts. So, like doors and moving platforms will have the same script and stuff like that. That's just how I code things.
Yeah.
But for this in particular, a lot of the level design stuff, rather than tediously trying to line stuff up, the level backgrounds are just sprites. Like the whole thing is one sprite, and then the collision is done with like sprite renderer off different cubes. And I wouldn't do that normally because it has like a slight difference in where the collision is and what the cube is. But it was just a lot easier to get level designs done in like MS Paint.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, so hang on, is this what is this made in?
Unity.
Oh, okay. Right. Yeah. No. Yeah. Because you had that like bin project at the bin file at the beginning, but then you also have the Unity XE. So why didn't you just use the tile map?
Didn't think of it.
Ah. Okay.
And I've never used it before. I just didn't want to risk it.
Oh my god! Finally, this is the first I've ever made it.
And then you have to do the top bit again.
Yeah. I mean, I'm actually this part I feel like is not too bad.
Yeah, it gets a lot easier once you're used to the controls.
Exactly. And that's the thing is that I feel like I could clear this had I so much time, but and this isn't even a checkpoint, huh?
Nope. It's due to the mechanic, which you need a cube for the button.
Oh, okay.
I'll just explain it now, considering it's not gonna go very far unless you get through these two rooms, which you might do if you clear this bit. Yeah, okay. So after this room, you're gonna get like the core mechanic, which is based on the theme, and you basically get access to just move all of the rooms around into whatever order you want. And the idea was, if we have each room, you're able to carry over an object, and other rooms you can do different stuff with an object. Like in this room, you have a cube, and you are capable of taking it out of the room. And in the last room, you need a cube. So if you switch the rooms around, you can take the cube into the other room and do something with it. And that was the entire premise. So we thought it was fitting to be like a storybook, and it's like you're reading ahead in chapters.
Okay. Does this ball kill me?
No, but you're
Okay.
free to walk in front of that. There's a red one that does, but that's not later. So the cube is very finicky. If you stand on top of it and then click S to interact and then walk right or left, it will change the direction it redirects the ball in.
Okay. Oh, I see. But I've got to be like right on top of it?
You need to be like square on top of it and just click S once and then move in a direction.
Okay. There we go. Oh, but it's so easy to undo as well.
It's incredibly easy to undo. Yeah, okay. The cube is one element that I would completely recode if I had time, because it's not intuitive in the slightest.
All right. Wait, what do I do down here?
Ah, you see, now you have trapped yourself.
Did I just soft lock myself?
Yep, you can go kill yourself and restart, but probably should have let the cube come out of that hole.
Okay.
Again, it is a puzzle platformer, but it is a rage game at heart.
I don't know. Like, let's step back for a second. Did you mean to make it as a rage game, or just kind of became that way?
I started implementing all the stuff, and I made a couple of like test levels, and it ended up being insanely difficult, even with like massive platforms and janky stuff. Like even the test levels were hard. So, and that was like after day 2, and at that point we had one more day to make all the levels and stuff. So we didn't want to spend time balancing the difficulty, so we just kind of led into it at that point.
Yeah. Well, I think that's about as far as I'm going to make it in the game. But the reason I ask is because, you know, some people like set out like, I'm gonna make a rage game. I'm gonna make games that make people angry, make it word. It's like, I don't think there's any real merit to that in the way that like I would hold to the idea that, I don't know, if people are like, if your big thing is that people die and then they have to replay your game, they're just going to end up having a bad time. Whereas if you give them lots of checkpoints and they can play through your game and get through it and have a good time with it, then it's much more likely that they'll play your game a second time and still re-experience the content because they actually enjoyed themselves. Like I just think that it's a better idea to just leave a good taste in someone's mouth as opposed to making something that is just going to make you bitter and angry. And you know, please don't understand. Please don't misunderstand me. I'm not directing this at this project.
Oh no, I'm fine with that. It was a very bad circumstance. Like the first platformer I've made, so the controls are janky, and then I just decide, checkpoints are going to be hard to code. Better not put those in.
Hmm. Well, I'm when I made my game public, because I made like 3 games in a row that were all based on the same engine. I made Infinite Descent for Ludum Dare, I made Worlds Within Worlds for TO Jam, and then I made Pursuit for the Game Maker Community Jam. And the very first one that I put out for Ludum Dare, everyone was saying that the wall jumping was too hard. And I went back in and I added some features, like you stick to the wall when you touch it, so you have a little bit of leeway. You also slide down the wall extra slowly, and I added in a little bit of coyote time. Are you familiar with that concept?
You can jump after falling off the edge of the block.
Exactly, but I applied that to the wall jumping as well. Fart fish, hello, thank you for the follow. People's usernames, man, it's whatever weird stuff sometimes. But bonjour. I can roll my R's. I have a my background is actually Hungarian, so I can roll my R's like the best of them, even if I can't speak French.
I cannot at all.
But I had a point I was making. Right. I applied the concept of coyote jumping to the wall jumping. That sentence didn't make sense. Let me try that again. I applied the concept of coyote time to the wall jumping. There we go. So that if you aren't touching the wall and you like slip away from it slightly, you can still perform a wall jump. And people said that they had a much easier time with the game after that. So there are a lot of considerations that go into making even the most basic platforming game. Like fundamentally, a platforming game is incredibly easy to program, but it's incredibly hard to fine tune.
Yeah, I got that from this.
Yeah, and that's why
Weirdly
I'm saying,
enough,
like,
double
don't feel
jump
bad.
is a bug.
It's a bug that became a feature.
Yep.
Yeah, I had, there are happy accidents like that. In my game Allocate, I made it so that you can like click and drag to designate your target like this. But I realized that if you move the mouse over more than one turret while you're designating its target, then you will get them both in manual target mode. And that wasn't intentional, but it's like, oh, hey, I can tell 2 of these guys to attack one thing at a time. So it was cool. And, sometimes you get stuff like that that works out well for you. And sometimes you get double jumping. And sometimes you get, whatever else. But yeah, so I think I am going to call it there for your game for now.
That's perfectly fine. I'm definitely going to keep working on it because I think the core puzzle element, which you didn't even get to see, where you can switch the rooms around, actually came from a concept I had where it's a flat out puzzle game, and then if you go back to like the first level and change something in chapter 6, it will be different because you changed it in the past.
Mm-hmm.
I think that core concept is cool, and I definitely want to make something better, but for a first attempt, I'm pretty happy with what I got.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you so much for joining me on the call as well. And if you do have another version of the game, I'd be more than happy to give it a try. I'm never, I'm sorry for those of you watching in chat. I'm never the type of person to just like pound my fists. Like, you will see me facepalm. You will occasionally see me bash my knees, apparently. But I'm not here to boil over and make a big scene. I'm trying to be other people can do that if that's their source of entertainment. That's totally cool. I'm not saying anything against it. I'm just saying that, if you want an objective opinion on your rage game, I will try my best to give it to you. However, please don't send me stuff with the express thing of like, this is a rage game, I want you to get mad. It's like, well, I just won't play it, in that case. Anyway, Tomato, thank you so much.
Thank you for suffering as much as you did with my
Don't worry.
my accidental rage game.
Don't worry about it. And if you do end up implementing some checkpoints, or you just want some feedback on another version of the game, I'd be more than happy to give it a try.
I'm 90% sure I'm recoding it.
Yeah. All right. Well, here we go. That is the link to Reading Ahead by Tomato. So you could at least play the first couple levels, right?
You can play up until you get the switching mechanic, and then at the point you switch, when you use the cube, it just activates the button way too early.
Okay. Well, all the same, at least people can give it a try, and you know, hopefully they can keep an eye out for your post-gem version. Um, yeah, Razorclaw, thank you for saying that you liked the last two games. I think they're each fun in different ways.
Fun. Yeah, we'll go with
Yeah.
that.
All right. Well, I think we're going to wrap up on the call right now, and I'm going to move on to
Okay.
our next game. But yeah, thank
Okay,
you.
thank you. Bye.
Bye bye.